What's up, fam? Welcome back. So we are going to have another quick video for some astrology stuff. Now, what I find really interesting is you guys know, or some of you know, that you can see everyone in your life. And sometimes some of the planets don't just represent your personal experiences, but people close to you. But a lot of the planets also represent people who are absolutely close to you, okay, in your experience. And I want to talk about your mother and your father, okay, because I feel like the home, the fourth house, the moon, the sun is just such, 4th, 10th house access is such important things, and a lot of our family issues is what is holding us back from really stepping into the fullness of who we are. And I want to start by breaking those things down and seeing if you understand where you come from, you accept that, you know, this was the natal energy that was within your chart, this is the relationship that was experienced, and that you can go out there and do a high vibrational, low vibrational. Okay, you can either recreate it, because at the end of the day, guys, we're only recreating what we've seen, what we've known, what we've seen. That's it, right? So now when we're talking about your parents, they represent the moon and the sun. Your mother is represented by the moon, or the feminine energy, the nurturer, the caretaker in your family, or the person who was supposed to nurture you, take care of you. And then the person who is the sun is the masculine energy, the provider, the person who's supposed to show you and teach you things, right? And basically how to go out there and lion, get what you fucking need so you can fill your kingdom up, okay? But now you can tell the relationships and the intimate relationships by obviously where these planets are placed, but specifically by the aspect between these two planets, okay? Specifically the moon and the sun. Now, the moon and the sun is, if there is a, let's start with, okay, the moon and sun in your chart, if they're conjunct, your mother and father were on the same page, okay? And it doesn't matter if it was the page of a horror book, they were on the same page. They were on each other's team. You saw them as being one, okay? You saw them as being integrated, as standing solid and firm. A lot of times getting along in whichever way this might be, okay? This is my sun, moon, Pisces. They might have been getting along alcoholics, okay? type of thing. Or they could have been getting along and went to church every day, okay? This is the kind of energy it is, but they were in cahoots together, Bonnie and Clyding at any which way. Now, if your sun and your moon were at opposition, meaning that they're across from each other in different houses, that means your mother and father were never on the same page, and you can tell that. You can tell that they didn't agree, and it doesn't matter if there was any talk or not. You just knew they didn't fuck with each other, okay? Like, you just knew that. Like, you knew they... You just fucking felt it. They never saw eye to eye. And this is what has you split. Okay, this is why you're always going back and forth between your needs and your wants and your needs. All right, that's what that opposition does, because you've seen that imbalance within your own, dynamic within your mother and father. Now, if you have a trine between your sun and your moon, your mother and father, they linked up, they got along. It was cool. Like, it was a good relationship. They definitely had each other's back. They understood each other. Okay. They were in tandem with one another, in flow with one another, because trine is an easy flow. So they really very much, supported each other's stuff, whatever was going on. All right. This is how you saw their relationship. Now, obviously, if these things are like, in signs and planets that are signs and houses that it doesn't necessarily like to be in, then it's not going to be, a great team up. It's like, damn, really? Y'all trying to like this, really? So that's what trine is, okay? That's why for you, it's easy to integrate, okay, your emotions and your identity, all right? Because they're in trine, they support each other. They support each other in being there. Now, if you have a square, you gotta look at the other aspects, because I've definitely seen some squares where it's just like, but I don't know. I feel like squares is exactly what it sounds like. Tension, frustration, and sometimes straight up fighting. Sometimes straight up. The opposition can do this too, especially if there's a strong Saturn, strong Mars. Okay, if Mars, Saturn, or Pluto are involved with any of these things, this is where abuse tends to come in. This is where control tends to come in. And manipulation. Okay, if there's strong Pisces energy, Neptune energy, that's where cheating, lies, scandals come in. All that kind of stuff. All right. So this is why the relationship, when you have the sun and the moon square, it's a very heavy tension here. And honestly, I want to know what you guys say below with your sun and moon squares down below. Not great at all, because then you can never get on the same page with your damn self. You know, it's like you're always fighting with yourself. There's a lot of inner frustration, a lot of inner pain and discomfort and stuff like that, because you can't seem to align those energies. A square is usually when it's like a, you know, different element, and they can't get along. One is, you know, fire, one is water. All right, even though fire and water could eventually get along, because that's what I feel. You know, fire could heat the water to a nice simmer. It don't have to boil and like explode, or even, you know, when you leave on the pot for too long and it zaps all the water out, right? And so essentially, this is the relationship that you saw between the masculine and feminine energy, the yin and the yang. Now, if there's no aspect between your sun and your moon, this is a difficult one. It's like a mystery, okay? The relationship was a mystery. You don't know. Like, it's a big question mark in your head. So you don't even know how to connect and start relationships with other people, because your sun and your moon are not aspected. They don't see each other. They're not having a conversation. They're not on the same page. So it's hard for you to even express your emotions and you know, to say one thing and actually mean what you say. All right. This is also square. Square has this a lot too, where they say they don't say what they're really feeling on the inside. You know what I'm saying? And that's with those. These are people that are in constant conflict within themselves, constant tension within themselves. And a square most times manifests into a real life physical situation, you know, and it is until then when you have to really work that out. So I hope that made sense for you guys, the relationship between your mother and your father. Some other things, you know, about your chart can definitely tell you more about your mother. It's the aspects to it. So if your mother had Saturn, you know, if you have a Saturn conjunct your moon, it's just your mother's very strict, very serious, very cold kind of thing. She could be very hard, you know. And then if you have that in square to your, you know, son, it's just like your dad was really hard on you too, and even stricter and even harder. So it's just like you felt like you were getting punched from both sides, you know. So this is how extreme it can get depending on the aspects in your chart. But remember, all of these aspects are to be worked out. If these are all energies that you can mitigate and you can turn around and make them actually work for you. So I hope this video made a lot of sense, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Later.